without somebody in charge of you. Right? Bet. Bring him right now. Call him.
Give him the pen.
I won't give him the pen because he wouldn't give me the board.
In a Flagler beach bar, where the air usually smelled of salty ocean wind and cheap beer, the atmosphere that evening was tense. People came to relax, laugh, and forget their problems. But among them walked in Big Bully, a 30-year-old man known here for all the wrong reasons. He was loud, arrogant, and used to being feared. His voice drowned out the music, and his eyes searched for weaker targets. He took a seat at the bar, ordered whiskey, and immediately started harassing the bartender, then the patrons, provoking people, humiliating them, showing dominance. It was all a game to him. When one woman finally spoke up and asked him to calm down, Big Bully just laughed. He grabbed her wrist, squeezing it too tightly, as if to show everyone who was in charge. The bar fell silent, that heavy silence when everyone knows something is about to happen. A man from a nearby table stood up. He didn't shout or threaten. He simply walked over and told him to let her go. Big Bully wasn't used to being challenged. He shoved the man, spilled a drink, knocked over a chair. In seconds, the bar descended into chaos. But this time, things didn't go according to his script. Several patrons stepped in at once. His arms were pinned against the bar. Someone held his shoulders. Another locked his wrists. Big Bully struggled, cursed, and threatened everyone around him. But the strength he used to intimidate others was now working against him. He was out of control, cornered by his own aggression. When the police arrived, the scene spoke for itself. The man who moments earlier thought he ruled the bar was now sitting on the floor, furious and breathless, his hands twisted behind his back. His rage no longer impressed anyone. He was arrested for violent behavior, unlawful restraint, and creating a threat to public safety. There were plenty of witnesses, and every one of them saw the same thing. Not a tough guy, but a man who had crossed the line. That night, Big Bully received his karma. Not loud or dramatic, but cold and metallic in the form of handcuffs. And the Flagler Beach Bar slowly filled again with conversation, music, and the quiet feeling that sometimes justice comes fast. The police arrived quickly. By the time they got there, the situation had already been contained. The patrons had released the man, and he walked out of the bar on his own without any physical force being used. Outside, he appeared relatively calm. He kept his hands down and made no sudden movements. However, he almost immediately began arguing verbally with the officers, interrupting them, asking provocative questions, and pushing his own version of events. He spoke loudly and emotionally, constantly shifting his tone from forced confidence to aggressive sarcasm. The officers did not react to the provocations. They acted calmly and in coordination, maintaining distance and full control of the scene. One officer led the conversation, while another closely observed the man's body language and the surrounding environment. The police never raised their voices and did not engage in arguments. They allowed him to talk, gradually steering the conversation in the direction they needed, clarifying details, noting inconsistencies, and giving short, clear instructions. Whenever the man tried to turn the exchange into a confrontation, the officers calmly redirected it back. The provocations failed. His attempts to dominate, interrupt, or unsettle the officers had no effect. Instead, every word he spoke only reinforced the witnesses' statements and the overall picture of the incident. Once the officers had gathered enough information and noticed that the man was beginning to lose control, they calmly and clearly announced the arrest. There were no sudden movements and no struggle. He was instructed to turn around. He began arguing again, but at that point it no longer mattered. The handcuffs were applied quickly and professionally. The situation remained fully under police control from the first moment to the last. This was not a show, and it was not a force-driven arrest. It was an experienced, controlled arrest where aggression was met with calm, and calm was what ultimately prevailed.